Well, Coach, first WAC weekend's in the books, and you start 2-0. One, just tell us the significance of that, and then another one on a quick turnaround, just playing Thursday and playing Saturday. But you're able to come out 2-0. How's that feel?
Yeah, you know, we've had a great week of workouts and prep, mainly because we've been here, we've been at home, we've slept in our own beds, we've been in charge of our own schedule, and our players have just responded really well, taking in two completely different scouts in a short period of time. But it is nice to be 2-0 and thankful that we got these two games. You know, we've got games being canceled all around us, and very grateful that we were able to play our first two conference games. And I do want to say I was really pleased with the crowd both games. I mean, we had a lot of people at our games over a holiday, and I'm sure there's some exciting football games on TV right now too, and I really appreciate the crowd for coming out. You know, if you sit in the bleachers and you cheer and you haven't been out on the court experiencing that, like, you don't really understand how much energy and that just the cheering and the encouragement means to the team. And so when we can get a crowd out, it definitely is a six-man for us.
You mentioned two totally different scouting reports to try to figure out. You got this Utah Valley team, physical inside, and then Dixie State. They love to take threes just about as much, or if not more, than you guys even like to do. So how did you try to figure out how to defend that type of team here today?
Yeah, first, wasn't that fun? Like, so many three-pointer shots, and both teams knew the other team was going to do that, and you know, both teams still gave up so many three-point field goal attempts, but just fun style of play for both of us. But yeah, completely different. We've not seen that style at all. I don't think that we'll see it again this year, just spreading the floor out with 5 players who can all shoot and put the ball on the floor. So it was a completely different scout. You know, we really had to help on Thursday against lobs and post feeds, and today we had to help on drives. And when you help on drives, then they're able to kick to shooters. And so they have a really nice team, good players in all positions, just a really different style of play. But really proud of our players for kind of, you know, purging the Utah Valley information and learning a brand new scout in a very quick turnaround.
You never trailed today. When you did build up a lead, though, it felt like Dixie State would kind of come back. They'd make a couple of shots, but it just felt like your girls always had an answer. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I feel like in the second half, we got some key defensive stops when we needed to. We forced a few live ball turnovers that turned into early offense for us. So I think that our players are really starting to buy into what we're asking them to do defensively. But the defensive stops were huge down the stretch to, you know, kind of right the ship a little bit when the score would get close.
After the, I want to say the Northern Colorado game, you had kind of made a challenge to your team. We're going to get better at rebounding. And it feels like you've gotten better at rebounding. These last 3 games have been really, really incredible. And then today, 44-26 in that regard. How can you say about the way your team's been?
Yeah, there's no excuse not to be consistent with rebounding. So, you know, I think our players have heard the message loud and clear. If you want to stay on the floor, you need to rebound, whether that's blocking out and rebounding or crashing the boards offensively. And they're really buying into that and being more consistent about their defense or their rebounding effort.
How about taking charges now? Dude, this is becoming a theme. You're getting a lot of those.
Yes.
It feels like it's been starting with Sarah Griswold most of the time.
Sarah taught everyone how to do that, and they've been really good students of Sarah Griswold, so we appreciate that.
How important is that then?
Hey, 100% of the time you get the ball back.
Yeah. And
so it's so much better than blocking a shot, and it's you being a good teammate. You know, it's painful just for the moment, and everybody cheers for you, and then you forget about it. But, I mean, it completely stops the possession, and you get the ball back 100% of the time. So it's a key component to the way we want to rotate defensively.
What can you say about the way Jamie's been playing? This is now 3 straight double-doubles for her, 10 straight double-digit scoring games. What can you say about the way she's led the team?
You know, I feel like I'm just repeating everything about Jamie. She has a high basketball IQ. She's such a great teammate. She's become a good defensive leader just by being vocal and directing traffic defensively. And she just scores from all different levels. And, you know, is always looking to create a shot for herself, not forcing things, but just ready to score when she gets the ball in her hands.
I thought you got 20 really big minutes out of Bella Earl today. It just feels like on defense she made some key plays, really looked confident on the offense with passing and shooting. What did you see from Bella?
You know, she will continue making freshman mistakes the rest of the year, but I'm fine with that as long as she continues playing really hard like she does. I mean, she's fearless. You know, sometimes she does things that she probably shouldn't, but like she's just going hard. You know, she's trying to get rebounds. She's trying to get defensive stops. You know, she's trying to make plays for us. And so really just appreciate her fearlessness and just her work ethic.
you played Thursday, then you turn around and play Saturday. This is new for ACU. You've always done the Wednesday, Saturday schedule. So how did you feel like that went in terms of being fresh and only having a day there?
I love it. I love the Thursday, Saturday. And, you know, it's all relative. Your opponent only had one day to prepare for you as well. But I love the Thursday, Saturday. I think that we need to learn as a staff about this team and, you know, what exactly do we need to do on Friday to make sure they have legs under them on Thursday. But there's a lot that goes into a scout and preparing for your next opponent. And so, you know, you need that time on Friday to get it all in, but you also need time for your players to recover. And so I think as we, you know, get into the season, another week or so, we'll kind of figure out the best way to approach our Fridays so that we can get the most out of our players on Saturdays.
And then finally, in the big moment today, there was about 7 minutes left, I think, in the fourth quarter, and you had about as veteran of a group as you could have out there with your starting five. What can you say about the way that they've led the team in big moments?
We know they've just started the games really well recently, and we expect them to do that. You know, if you're a starter, you need to set the tone for the rest of the game and the rest of your teammates. But when we know that we've got to bear down and get stops and execute, I feel real comfortable with that starting lineup out on the court.
Well, Jamie, 20 points, 11 rebounds for you today, your third straight double-double. Let's just start with how you were feeling individually out there today, especially with only having a day off in between games.
Yeah, I was questioning it a little bit, but, you know, we were also focused on the game. It really slipped my mind. And when I woke up this morning, you know, I was just ready to go, and I knew my teammates were too, and we were just excited to play.
Well, you had two almost completely different teams that you had to play this weekend with Utah Valley, and then you can play Dixie State, a team that likes to shoot those three-pointers. How'd you feel about your defensive game plan and the way you guys executed defensively today?
I think we had a really good scout, and we all came in the day after our Thursday game and really locked in. We knew that game was behind us and it was time to focus on a new opponent. And, you know, that's just how college basketball is. You play one team and then you could have a completely different team the next game. So you have to lock into scout mentally, even if you're not going as hard on the court physically because of the short break that you have in between.
I asked Coach Goodenough about that challenge she made to you guys about the rebounding and stuff, and you had talked about it too. We got to get a little more consistent on the glass. It feels like over the last 3 games, that's really turned in your favor. What can you say about the way you guys have been rebounding?
Yeah, I think, you know, she talked to us and we heard it loud and clear, and, you know, we haven't forgot it since, and we've realized that, you know, when we do rebound, good things happen, and we don't want to lose that, so we really try to focus on that.
Yeah, and 16 offensive rebounds. How important is it? If you miss a couple of shots, it's okay because you're going to go maybe give yourself another chance. How important is that side?
Definitely, and I remember in the game, you know, I missed it, and I was like, dang, now we have to play defense, but I saw Maddie swoop in and get the ball, and it's just so exciting. It gives everyone more fuel to just keep going because I think everyone loves offense more than defense, but, yeah, it's super exciting.
How about your defense, though, the way your team's been playing on that end of the floor? I feel like Tatum Barber's been a huge spark plug on that end of the floor, then kind of leading into transition and stuff. How would you feel about the way your defense has been playing lately?
Yeah, definitely, especially in today's game. You know, we did get beat a couple times on the ball, but we were talking in the locker room. We always had someone there, and we knew we had help and rotation, and it all takes like us playing as a team and communicating, and Tatum with those picks out at the top and for an open layup, like that just gets the momentum right back in our court.
I asked Coach about this, but I'd ask you about Bella Earl's performance today. She comes off the bench, just big moments defensively, big moments offensively. It just felt like she just, you know, at times doesn't really play like a freshman. She really has a really good head on her shoulders. What have you seen from Bella?
Yeah, so, I mean, early she's kind of struggled a little bit, but we all knew how good she can be, how good she is, and so we're trying to pick her up, you know, every day in practice and build her confidence because, you know, you can get, as basketball players, really down on yourself, especially when you're screwing up and you know you can do better. So we just tried to pick her up, and we're like, Bella, you got this, and like we all have confidence in you, and her shots were so big, especially with rebounds and everything too. She's just doing it all.
When you don't get to the foul line a lot, you know, you really want to stay focused inside, but it feels like, you know, you guys still end up taking 36 three-pointers. Offensively, if you're not getting to the free throw line, what have you guys seen offensively to still create the shot you want?
Get it in and kick it out. A lot of the times we are able to get it in, and if we can't get the fouls we want or the finishes we want, that might be because they're doubling or we just can't get around them. So our guards are really good at relocating and finding our shot. And, you know, if that shot's not there, we just keep swinging it, and we eventually find something good.
2-0 start in conference play, both at home. Before you go on the road next week, how big was this weekend for your team?
Super big. I know a few other teams had home games, but I'm interested to see, the record of others, but I'm just excited how our team pulled out, and I think it's great momentum for next week, and then keep following up with the next week whenever we're back at home to keep it going.